If you're an MSP looking to get qualified prospects, book down your calendar, and increase your close rate without discounting your services, this video is for you. By the end of the video, you're going to have a clear understanding as to why just focusing on one or two different industries is going to drive up your margin, your retention, and it's going to create you a predictable pipeline, all while knowing how to pick the right ones, because not all verticals are created equal. I'm Gajee Haber from Wiz Analytics. We partner with IT MSPs as a growth operator to identify and fix constraints across your marketing, your sales, and your operations. What I'm about to share with you is what's helped the other MSPs I work with become more profitable. If that's what you're after, let's jump right in. There's two different kinds of MSPs out there. The first one is the one who chooses to go all in on just one or two different industries. And the second are MSPs who decide to go after anyone that has a budget to allocate towards managed IT services. Now, it's not to say that this isn't a good solution. However, this tends to work much better for more mature MSPs who manage to dial in their operations to make it a lot more efficient and more profitable. So here's the thing. Generalists end up paying a switching tax unknowingly, which is learning new acronyms, new workflows, new applications, and new buyers for every new deal that comes your way. It's going to end up killing your reuse, it's going to slow your onboarding, and it might force you to discount. But what do I mean by all that? Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Reuse is solving a problem once and then going and reusing that solution everywhere. It's going to be your same fixes, your same checklists, the same automations, the same tech stack, and the same proof in all of your sales. As a generalist, that chain tends to break at each link. With tickets, every new vertical is going to bring on a new line of business application and their own problems. So issues don't repeat in a predictable way. It's going to be much harder for you to templatize that. And for SOPs, onboarding and escalations are going to vary by industry. Steps might end up changing, so your engineering team are going to have a really hard time following any checklist. As a result, escalations are bound to increase. If you happen to incorporate any sort of automations, different tools and data flows might mean your scripts can end up breaking or need one-off versions. Again, and as a result, maintenance is going to increase, costing you both more in time and in money. Your tech stack could also vary from vertical to vertical, which introduces a steeper learning curve and training for each. Now, when we're talking about marketing and sales, each offer you deliver needs new language, new case studies, and a new demo flow. It's going to translate into longer sales cycles and more that let me think about it. So here's the bottom line. Without reuse, you're going to end up paying more to deliver and earn less per deal. Let's go ahead and walk you through the hidden costs first, and then I'm going to show you why a tighter niche is going to flip those numbers in your favor. Serving whoever shows up with the budget might feel like the move, but in reality, it's a learning tax you pay every time you take a new client in a new industry. Let's say you win a construction on Monday. By Friday, your senior tech has burned about 12 hours just figuring out their software and their vendors. Your project manager has about 6 hours gathering all the details. Your client strategy lead spends about 4 hours turning into a plan. At typical loader cost, which is about $55 for senior tech, $50 for PM, and $80 for strategy lead, it's $660 plus $300 plus $320, which is $1,280 just in payroll. And that's to onboard one client. There's no extra value the client will be paying for. If you do that 12 times a year, you're quietly burning about $15,000 a year. And then there's a mental gear change. According to research, it takes human beings an average of 23 minutes to fully reorient and regain focus when switching from one task to another. Let's say you got one ticket for a dental office and the next one that comes in is for a law firm. Let's just assume that your techs are highly skilled. It only takes them about 15 minutes or so to reorient. If you do that 6 times a day, you've lost about an hour and a half every single day. Over 250 work days, that's roughly 375 hours per engineer. At $60 an hour per loader cost, it's $22,000, $500 per engineer. Got 5 engineers, that's $112,000 just gone. Because the tools and workflows keep changing, more tickets get handed off. That phrase, "can you jump in?" almost becomes a daily thing. Your average time to resolution creeps up. To meet the SLAs that you promised your clients, you have to pay overtime so you don't upset your clients. Assume you pay just 2 engineers overtime. At 52 weeks in a year, that equates to 104 hours. And at time and a half, that's $90 an hour. That's about $9,360 a year before the couple of grand in service credits when you miss what you promised. Just go ahead and call the whole thing 12 grand. And finally, people just get tired. It's those constant changes, the after hours quick favors, a new puzzle every week. Your best folks are going to start looking at other opportunities elsewhere. Replacing just one senior tech is going to run you about 15 grand between a recruiter, the ramp up time, and the coverage. You lost 2 of them this year, that's 30 grand, and doesn't even count the lost momentum. Go ahead and add those numbers up. You got 15 grand in onboarding drag, $112,000 in contact switching, another 12 grand in overtime and credits, another 30 grand in turnover. You're looking at a whopping $169,000 a year just in leakage. That's not theory. That's pure cash you could have dropped back into your bottom line. We're not even done yet. Go ahead and layer on the price cuts. When buyers can't even tell you apart because every MSP in the area sounds the same and they look the same, they're going to default to sorting by price. Not Knocking 10% off just to stay competitive might sound harmless, but it's not. If you usually keep about half after direct costs, $100 sold is going to leave you with $50. You drop it to $90 and you're left with $40. Now you need 25% more deals just to make the same amount of dollars. If you keep about 35%, $100 means you keep $35. At $90, you keep $25. So you're going to need about 40% more deals. Can you see where I'm going with all of this? Let's see why niching down does you more good than harm. When you commit to one niche, you stop selling managed IT and start delivering an outcome for a specific type of business. You go from just being an IT company to being a growth partner. That shift changes everything. You're going to learn their language, their workflows, their compliance headaches, their busy seasons, and then the one or two risks that keep their owners and executives up at night. Because you're living in their world, your offer stops sounding generic and starts to sound like you know what their problems are before they even tell you. By reframing it, you stop pitching tools and start promising results that they actually care about. So what happens next? Your discovery calls get much sharper because you already know what their landmines are. Your delivery gets faster because you reuse the same playbooks, the same automations, and the same tech stack, which leads to higher margins. Your proof gets stronger because every case study looks like the next prospect's world. Your offers get easier to accept because they're framed in the buyer's words, not a bunch of IT jargon. And retention climbs because clients feel understood and they feel the results, which also leads to a higher LTV. Why don't you just think about how you buy expertise in your own life? If I take my Lamborghini, I'm not going to go ahead and roll into the corner shop that services every single make and model. I'm going to be taking it to the specialist who does exotics all day. They could show me the last 20 similar jobs they did and they get back to work with a clear guarantee. Obviously, it's going to cost me more, but I'm paying for the lower risk, the faster turnaround, and the confidence it's going to get done right the first time. The same goes with medical. If you needed an open heart surgery and the general doctor told you that he shattered a heart surgeon a couple times, you're going to be out of that room in seconds. Heart surgeons get paid a ton of money because they chose a narrow problem, they decided to master it, and they carry the risk of that outcome. That's not ego, that's called specialization. And MSPs are no different. Generalists are jack of all trades and master of none. Specialists are, we solve this exact problem for the exact type of company, and here's the proof. One of those earns a pricing power and sticky clients, and the other competes on price and hopes for referrals. The play is simple. You pick a lane, you define the outcome, and then you stack proof on top of it. When your mission sounds like we help X client achieve Y outcome in Z time frame with so-and-so package, prospects are going to feel seen, your offer lands much harder, and the clients stick around for much longer because you're solving their problem. You're not selling your services. In the end, you're going to be a lot more profitable. Your team is going to like you, your clients are going to like you, and life is going to be easier. Isn't that what we want at the end of the day? In a minute, I'm going to show you how to choose that niche, but first, I want to clear the air with you. Are you worried that picking the niche means you're going to run out of prospects? The short answer is you shouldn't be. You're not going to be shrinking your market, you're just sharpening your message. In the US, there's literally millions of small and mid-sized businesses. All you need is just a sliver of that. Here's the capacity check I like to give MSPs I work with. Just pick one vertical and one geolocation, let's say like a 50-mile radius, and just one size band of employees. Even a small vertical often needs about 200, 600 businesses in one metro area. Let's say you're onboarding 2 clients a month, which is about 24 a year. With normal churn and multi-year contracts, I can promise you're not going to exhaust between 200 and 600 accounts for years to come. If you truly feel like you saturated a vertical in your area though, you can go ahead and add a second adjacent vertical with the same stack and playbook, or better yet, just simply move on to a new metro area. There's no reason as to why you wouldn't be able to support a business remotely in today's day and age. If you really need boots on the ground, you could outsource it to contractors in the area, or just happen to partner up with another MSP out there. Now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and figure out how to pick the right niche. There's 4 things to look for when choosing a niche. First, they got to be in massive pain. And no, I don't literally mean physical pain. What I mean by that is they got a problem, it's frequent, it's expensive, it's time sensitive, and it's owned by an executive such as the owner or some admin. If your offer removes that sort of pain, then that's when buyers lean in. If it's a nice to have, they're not going to make a move. After all, business owners don't want to dish out more money for unnecessary expenses. Here's a few questions to ask to determine if it's massive. Number 1, how often does this happen? If the answer is every week or daily, you're getting really close. And number 2, what happens if it occurs on critical days? Number 3, who from the business takes the biggest hit? You want the decision maker to say me. Number 4, what did it cost me last time? Whether it's time, money, reputation, or better yet, all 3, then you're golden. Let me paint the picture for you in their legal world, because that's what's going to land some deals for you. It's 3:45 in the afternoon. The motion has to be e-filed before 5 o'clock. Associates are doing last minute edits, paralegals are compiling exhibits, and the partner is about to jump on the video hearing. Then the internet just suddenly drops, everyone gets kicked off. Now you got everyone panicking. What does that actually cost? Take a mid-sized firm, let's say 40 lawyers with a blended billable rate of about $250 an hour. hour. If the whole firm stalls, that's 10 grand per hour in billables that just evaporated. Even just one practice group, say 10 attorneys and 4 paralegals, with paralegals at maybe $90 an hour billable, 1 hour scramble is roughly $2,800 just gone. If you stretch that to 2 hours on the filing day, you're looking at between $5,700 to $20,000 in lost billables, depending on how wide the blaster case actually is, plus the risk of missing a hard deadline, sanctions, or just losing leverage in the case. And this isn't rare. Deadline days always have moving parts. You got giant PDFs, secure signatures, last minute red lines, and video appearances. If any single piece breaks, the whole day tilts. We haven't even talked about the potential email phishing compromises, backup disasters with ransomware incidents, or document management with wrong versions being sent out, or simply unable to recover lost files. Make sense? That's some pain worth solving fast. In an upcoming video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to turn those pains into a clear offer step by step, so you can map out every single problem to a business outcome that they care about and the package you can deliver every single time. Okay, now the second thing to look for when choosing a niche is their purchasing power. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Do they generally have the budget to allocate towards outsourcing their IT services? Let's go ahead and shift gears and see why going after maybe like a blue collar industry such as plumbers can usually and will pay for it. Now, I'm not telling you to go after those independent solo operators. What I'm talking about is going after established businesses, let's say at least 5 trucks. Their money only shows up when their phone is ringing and a job gets booked. Let's say a heavy storm comes in and knocks out their ISP circuit, or their phone simply take a crap on them. Well, then that's just cash out the door right there. They probably got a ton of people calling due to flooding or busted pipes. Each job can average between $300 to upwards of $5,000 depending on how severe the problem is. But if they were down for 2 hours and had 10 missed calls, I'm going to go ahead and let you do the math. If they're an established business, they're probably already spending money on lead generation to get more customers rather than only relying on referrals. With that being said, they probably got the budget to go ahead and keep their trucks dispatched at all times, which means they should have the budget to go ahead and allocate it towards keeping their operations running. Now, the third thing to watch for when choosing a niche is making sure they're easy to target. If I can build a real list within a few days, I'm not going to go ahead and pick that niche. Let's say I want to use engineering firms as an example. They're easy to find because they're actually visible. They're on state license lists, they're in your local design and construction associations, they're on Google Maps, and they all live in the same handful of tools: AutoCAD, Revit, Civil 3D, and Bluebeam. If you just gave me an hour and a cup of coffee, this is exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and jump onto a lead database like Apollo and search for civil, structural, mechanical, electrical engineering firms within the 50-mile radius. I'm also going to go ahead and jump on the Sales Navigator and do the same thing. By the end, I should have over 500 firms and actual owners or decision makers who I could actually reach out to. You can also head to local design and construction meetups, or search Facebook groups for the tools that they use, or just use general engineering groups. The last thing you want to look for is ensuring that the market is actually growing, or at the very least remain stable, not declining. If a market's growing, you're going to see new hires, new locations popping up, and new software being catered to them. When it's shrinking, you're going to see layoffs, locations closing, and discount requests. I probably wouldn't go something after like commercial printing shops, although it's not to say that none of them are successful and don't need technical support. It's just that we're heading into 2026 and things are going to be more digital now, and print run sizes are shrinking. While I do understand that people still need signs to be made, there's going to be less of a pool to go after in the future. Alright, quick recap before we wrap up. If you want more qualified leads and a higher close rate without discounting, go ahead and pick a lane and run through these 4 filters. They've got massive pain, they've got their purchasing power, they're very easy to find, and it's a market that's growing or at least steady. If you want a head start, I put a 2026 MSP niche shortlist in the description. Industries that check the boxes and why. Go ahead and grab that. Also, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and tap like and subscribe to let me know if I should keep making more videos like this to help you guys out. I'm Ghazi with Wise Analytics. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.